Oh, okay. Here we go. Live again at ECCE. I'm going to share this link out to a couple places on Twitter. See if I can get some people into the chat. And then we'll start talking. So, we're in the final hours of ECCE. It's been kind of a slow burn this year. Nothing too major. In case you're wondering, ECC is East Coast Comic Expo. It is in Moncton, New Brunswick, every year, right around the same time in May. This year we're at a new event, or a new venue. Sorry, we're at a new venue this year, which is a little different, bigger place. Don't know if they got the same crowd they were hoping for, but it's been pretty good. Got a little bit of information out about the book, which is good. Not a whole lot of new backers or anything like that, but hey, everything counts. Just getting the information out there and stuff like that. Yeah, so can't say anything bad about this year. It's been pretty good. I didn't have anybody with me here at my table, unfortunately. So I've been having a little bit of a hard time getting around, doing that kind of thing. It's pretty hard to, need a drink or have to go to the washroom or something like that. But hey, that was my own fault. I should have had somebody else here with me. Hopefully we get some people in the chat. But if not, I just wanted to have a few quick discussions, if you will. So, a couple things got to happen. I got to get this campaign up and running and really push it. Because we're just not getting a lot of volume in the backers yet. So, I'm going to be shilling the crap out of it on Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that. So if I get really annoying, I apologize. But I got to get the information out there to people. I'm going to be working towards messaging certain people, trying to get onto their channels to do a little bit of information promo and stuff like that. I think a few of those might be happening this week coming. We'll have to see how the schedule works out. Hello. A couple people in here. Well, right now the costume contest is going on, so there's not a lot of people in the artist room here. We only got about an hour and 20 minutes left of the convention. Closes at 5 o'clock our time. It's about 20 to 4 here now. So I expect things will wind down really quickly. That's a big bottle of water, but I've been nursing it all weekend. Well, the last 2 days anyway. So it's, even with the extra people in here, it's still freezing, which kind of sucks. Usually it's too hot in the convention, but it's been really cold in here. Probably because it's cold outside. I don't think they have the heat on or anything like that. But, that's the way she's going. Oh, that's so nice. Edwin shared me on Twitter here. Edwin Boyette. Oh, thanks for doing that, man. Maybe we get some people in here. So, in case you missed my stream yesterday, when I started, I was a little disjointed and whatnot. Now, I'm incredibly overtired right now, but I'm going to shill my book a little bit more again. So, Of Time and Space is an original science fiction fantasy story set on a world at the center of the universe, and it revolves around an ancient evil coming back out of the center of said planet. And this ancient evil existed before the universe existed. So it's an evil before time, if you will. and the peoples of said world have to deal with this evil, but in however they can. It's do or die situation for the most part. They don't really have a choice not to fight this creature. So what I have in my hand here is a book that I've been selling here at the convention, uh, which is sort of like a making of book. And surprisingly, I've only sold one copy of it, even though I've been pushing it pretty hard to people as they come by. But like, I haven't had a lot of interaction this year. Um, excuse me. There have been people walking around, but not a lot of them are stopping to look in this section. And I've talked to a few of the other artists around me, and it's kind of the same situation for them. So I don't feel too bad. Just that type of year, I guess. You get some years where people are really creator driven, and some years where they just want to buy fan art and things like that. It's really really hit or miss at these events, as most people know. They're not perfect ways to sell your book or anything, but it definitely does get the word out there. So it's always good to try to attend if you can afford to attend. But I wouldn't push attending these sorts of events unless you really had to. So I want to just go over what's in this book, because this is one of the things that is a perk in the campaign. Although it will be a little bit different than this version. This version, I noticed, had a few grammatical errors that I missed when I was editing it. Unfortunately, I should have flipped it over to my editor, who did the comic book, before I printed it. But I thought, oh, there's not a lot of text in it. I should be able to catch all the mistakes. No. That's why you always get other people to look at it. But anyway, that's besides the point. The other thing is, I kind of want to reword a bit of the ending, where it talks about supporting, and make it more about funding the campaign. I'm sure there's there probably is an attractive ginger someplace in here, I'm sure. I mean, we're at a convention. Right behind me? Yeah, probably. I'm not going to look because I can see her in the camera, but oh, man. So anyway, as I was saying, I want to redo the ending of this and make it more about the funding campaign and stuff like that. And I want to add more pages in there, I think. Just about this design, because the way because the way we did it, the way I did it before, I've got the page, preview page, and then the script, which is fine. But we actually have some pages lettered now. So, hello. Some people filtering back in now. The costume contest must be over, which is cool. Which is good. I'm gonna pause every now and then and interact with people if they stop by, but that's fine. You'll just have to watch me sell this thing and see if I'm doing it okay, right? Kind of. Hello. Tell them the buyer they will be cursed. I like that. That's funny. I don't think that would work though. Anyway, as I was saying, we've got the page and then the script. So Rob has gone back, and all the pages that he's done so far, he's reformatted to look a little cleaner and nicer for like the actual printing of the comic book. And he did that for free, which was really nice of him. And then, of course, he's starting to put some of the lettering in. So I don't know if I'll go this route where I have script and page. I'll probably have a few of those, because I think it's important to see how a script translates into the visual. A lot of people can't really conceptualize that. They have a hard time with the writing part of that. Uh, I'm writing issue 2 right now, and the first part of the book is like mostly just like a ginormous action scene, right? So that goes from, I don't know how many pages in it'll end up being, but so far it's like 14 pages of mostly action at the beginning of the second book. And then there's like a calm period in the middle, as there should be. Yeah, I know there's no standard for scripts, but I like the overly descriptive scripts myself. I like to describe the viewing angle and basically set up the scene like a cinematographer would in a movie. That's how I write my scripts. So then, when Rob comes in, Rob Cannon, and starts drawing the page, it almost always exactly looks exactly how I pictured it in my head, which is great. Which means I'm doing a pretty decent job at writing it, I think. Uh, the only thing that kind of was very interesting about that is that the way I was picturing things in my head, I would see things coming in from like the left side of the screen for some reason, or the left side of the panel, and he would put it on the right side of the panel. But it worked really well the way he did it, better than the way I was picturing it in my head, which is, I guess the power of a really good artist. But I always thought that was kind of interesting, though, the way that worked out. Uh, so, yeah. Uh, oh, no. What's going on here? Oh, I can't get into Twitter drama right now. Should close that down. I'm surprised. Yeah, probably not wrong about doing that, as you're supposed to put things on entering side and the exiting side. Yeah, you know what? That's what I was thinking too. Uh, but for whatever reason, it worked really well the way he was laying it out. Um, I'll give you an example, if I've got one. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not necessarily that, but this panel here, where you see these angelos surrounding this statue, and they're all sort of meditating. I don't know why, but I sort of saw it from like the other side, looking the other way. I mean, it really wouldn't make much difference, but it's just, I guess the statue's facing the opposite direction of what I pictured it in my head, but it didn't bother me at all, right? Like Rob did a really good job. Uh, I'm much more concerned about how he captured the lighting and stuff like that. So he did a fantastic job. Like he really understands the lighting, and yeah, it is a holdover from theater stuff. I know. It's exit stage left, right? Yeah, or exit stage right. I can't remember. Anyway, I used to do. I used to do for a while there. I was doing a lot of photographs for plays, so I saw a lot of that. Hi, how's it going? Yeah, yeah. It's an original comic book that I'm writing right now. We're funding it on Indiegogo. So we're running the campaign right now. But yeah, the artist is Rob Cannon. He's from California. He's pretty fantastic artist. Yeah. I've also got local artist Andre Boulard. He's done a few of the concept arts for me. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a card there if you're interested in taking a look at the campaign. Yeah, yeah, mugs. Yeah, Thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, PS Meltzer. Yeah. It's been an interesting day at the convention. I saw a couple good friends, which I haven't seen in a while because I haven't been to one of these things in a while. And but it's been kind of slow, surprisingly, even though there's been a lot of people through. It's the only thing that the only negative I can say about today. But these things are more about just talking to people and stuff like that. I think as long as I get some word out and get some new backers off of this, I'm good. It would have been nice to sell some of these guys, but would have been nice to sell a lot of these nice original works that I have here too. But you can't win them all. You know what though? It's good because I'll tell you what's going to happen. I got a lot of these books left, and like I said, I'm going to change the one that's in the perk for the campaign. So I might make a secondary perk for this limited edition print and put that through. It'll be like 30 copies available. And you get all of the wonderful grammatical errors and the reduced size be cheaper. But it'll be like a limited run thing, right? You know what? I can't really complain about today. I haven't been to a convention in like a year. So this was the fun coming back in. And the last time I was at a convention, I was mostly doing photography, right? So it's been a really different experience being table locked all weekend. It's new for me, but it's not a bad thing. I do wish I had. Yeah, I do wish I had a table mate. I wish my girlfriend could have come, but she's at her aunt's. So it's a little difficult for food and bathroom breaks and stuff like that. But other than that, perfectly fine. Yeah. Hey. We're going into the final push rush here, so might be more people coming through, which is good. I could always use the Detroit Auto Show. That must have been really interesting. Detroit's like a big motor city. That would have been really cool. I'm not a huge car guy myself, but I do like cars though. Just not really into the technical things about them. Still, I wouldn't mind going to something like that. I think it would be really neat. I really do. Let's see what's going on here. We got to get some buzz though. That's one thing I want going here. So it's not like an official thing right now, but I have been talking to Doug Naple about coming on to his live stream. So I think that's probably going to happen sometime. I think he's on vacation right now, so I'll have to wait till he gets back so we can set that up. Now I'm actually really looking forward to that. Doug's been a really positive force for me in this project. Everything that he says is like infinitely helpful to me. The way he talks about interacting with people and how to write and present yourself with the book and everything like that. In fact, I had to. Hey, how's it going? I had to put Doug in the special thanks there too. So, yeah. Doug can't contact you through your Twitter? That's weird. Some sort of like blocking thing or something? I didn't really have much trouble talking to Doug. I actually have my copy of Bigfoot Bill here with me. I was hoping somebody would ask me about my special thanks so I could pull that out and say, hey, look at this thing. This is like the most premium comic ever made. And I do believe that. I've never seen anything more gorgeous in my life for printing. Uh, can't really describe that. I am definitely backing Earthworm Jim as soon as I can. Just right now, can't afford it because all this money was tied up in this trip this weekend. But once I get the money back in my account, it should be all right. Yeah. Well, he might be lying, but doesn't seem like something he would do. But he might have blocked you from something and not realized it. He probably gets a lot of people contacting him, I'm sure. The fact that I can even get a hold of him amazes me because, I've tried to contact certain other high profile people in the past and not had much luck with it. I'm not going to name any names because it really doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want. I don't control them. I'm not expecting anything from them. I would think it would be nice to talk to them. I'm more interested in their advice. Hi, how's it going? I'm more interested in their advice than anything else. So it really doesn't have much to do with. I don't know if we really. I mean, sure, some people have gotten backed overnight on certain people's shows, but I don't know really what to say about that. I don't want to come off as just trying to use people. I guess it's not really about that. Um, yeah, because there's been a lot of accusations going around about people using people to get further on, and I think that's kind of silly. Like, the whole point of this thing is to sell your book and make something off of your art. And I know it's not my art, but my writing, which can be considered an art in some respects. Your craft, I guess, would be a better way to put it. And I don't see how there's anything wrong with that. And if you're going on to a large platform with the intent on selling something, you shouldn't be surprised when you sell stuff, right? But yeah, it's devolving into drama, and I think it all usually comes out of jealousy and things like that, where some people's projects don't do as well as others. But that's just the way it's going to happen, right? We're not going to be Ethan Van Sciver, 20-year veteran of the comic and 21-year veteran of the comic industry, right? On your first project, because you don't have 21 years of comic history behind you. People don't really know who you are. People don't really know who I am. I went from 50 subscribers at the beginning of the year to 200 and some now on Twitter, or 50 followers, or whatever you want to call it. Now my YouTube's still small. It only has like 50 followers. I'm not out there telling people to follow me or anything, but I definitely like getting followed, and so I can contact people more than anything else. I think that's the important part, is networking more than anything. But some drumming going on in the background again. That's what that weird bung 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 sound is. Yeah, that's the other problem too. If you say anything, it looks like jealousy right now because there's so many people acting that way. But it might not necessarily be that, right? And I think it all depends how you come off on it. Like, there's a certain sincerity to handling those types of situations. It's not something I'm overly good at because, I'm a little bit of an introvert. I have a hard time with public speaking. Doing it over the internet is a little easier because I'm not in front of somebody per se. but I still get pretty nervous doing these things. That's why I seem to stutter a lot and things like that. But I lose my train of thought quite frequently. Kind of like a certain other popular YouTuber that way. At least I don't devolve into shipping news, but it's kind of the same situation. Get distracted very easily. Uh, but man, like it's all good. Like I'm having the time of my life doing this. Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff you said in DM. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said. I think you're being honest, and if some people can't handle honesty, then that's up to them. Yeah, we all know that certain people are blocking people on likes now, and I think that's kind of foolish. I can like something and not necessarily agree with it. I just want to keep in touch with the person. You know, I hate drawing these stupid lines and stuff like that. That's not what I got into this for. I thought the whole idea of stuff like Comicsgate and stuff like that was to get rid of these lines, right? Or so it started that way anyway. But it's supposed to be more about merit, right? That was my thing. So that's why I kind of went into this swinging strong and hired this artist that I really liked. Uh, yeah, like I wanted to go strong. I wanted this to be about the merit of the work. So I knew if I just hired I don't want to say a cheap artist, but you know what I mean. Maybe somebody who's not quite as developed in their craft as they could be at this point. Somebody who charges a little less or whatever. It wouldn't have the same impact. So I was kind of picky seeking it out, and I know like Rob's style might not be for everybody, but it's definitely the type of style that I like. I like, my own stuff is more gestural when I'm drawing, and I like the gestural styles, the fluid styles, and stuff like that. The whole point is to push good work. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a merit-based industry, like it kind of used to be, right? You know, uh, the good books get out there, and the bad ones don't see the light of day, and that's just the way it should be. I mean, bad is subjective, but you know what I mean. Hey, Tank Fair Art. Glad to see you in the chat. I'm just at the convention talking away because things are kind of slowing down here. Got about an hour left now till close. So I don't think I'm going to stream till the hour, but I'll probably stream for another 15, 20 minutes at least anyway. The internet's actually been really good in here. I'm surprised. I thought I would get kicked out. It happened like once yesterday, which is weird because there's been more people here today. Yeah, I know the feeling about being broke. Paying for the book kind of like killed my support of other books because I'm always putting money on my credit card now, trying to pay it back. But so it's just killing my paychecks every time I get one, unfortunately. But that's the way it goes. I mean, I guess I could actually try to pay for the stuff, but I wouldn't get very far, and it would have taken a lot longer. So credit cards are a good viable option that way, but then you got to pay them back. Thanks, you guys. Like, I'm really glad you guys like what you're seeing. Anyway, that's enough for me. For as long as you guys support it, like, I can't ask for anything more, really. If you wanna back it, that's absolutely wonderful. I'm doing the a suggestion that I heard the other night in a live stream, and not mentioning dollar amounts, but instead mentioning how many books I need to get this project back. And I believe it's 335 books I need back to back this project. That's what I worked out. If I can break even, if I get that just to that goal, I'll be fine. I can get the rest of the artwork paid for in bulk, and Rob can just go crazy and he can finish the book. It'll be great. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So I really just need 335 people, 350 people to buy the book, and I'm all set to go. And it seems like it seems like a small amount, but for me, it seems like a really large amount. Because I just don't have that following. So I'm hoping by going on to some what do you mean by like a spreadsheet? You mean like to track things? Well, I know what the cost of things are, if that's what you mean. But no, I'm not really good with the financial side of things, so I just kind of wing a lot of that stuff. Yeah. But we got to sell some books. So my plan is, even though I work, well, I mean everybody works. As I say, even though I work 6 days a week or 5 days a week, I guess, I'm still gonna come home at night. I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna pop online. I'm gonna try to get on as many live streams as I can. I might get myself completely overtired, but I think it'll be worth it. And I'm gonna say this right now. I don't even care if your channel only has 10 subscribers. If you get 5 people viewing it at any time, doesn't matter to me. I want to get out as many places as I can. So I just want to talk to people about it more than anything. So I think the more I talk about it, the more it's easier to describe. I had a really hard time at the beginning because it's kind of a complex story. There's a lot of characters that come in and out. Although it does focus around a central character, there's still a lot of things that happen in that story. And the way I wrote it originally in novelized form was that it was all through one character's perspective. But it still kind of is, but it branches out a little bit more in the comic because I'm basically rewriting the whole thing again. I want to like add a little bit more depth into it. So I feel there were parts where I could have been a little bit more descriptive, and I held back because I was trying to write it from that one character's perspective. So in issue 2, what I've been writing, there's another character who comes in, and I wrote some stuff from his perspective during that scene, which was really cool because then I could add in this whole extra action scene. So yeah, I definitely think the person who's making the book should be the one talking about it. It's good when other people talk about it, for sure. You want other people pushing your stuff, but I really feel I'm that you're the best person to sell your work. So regardless, so you got to really believe in this stuff, and I believe in this stuff. So yeah. Although that's really cool that Edwin did that for you. Edwin's such a good guy, man. Like, what a nice man. Like, he doesn't have to do any of this for anybody. The fact that he's so generous with his time, putting this stuff forward, and the fact that he's so middle ground on everything. It's really good. We need more people like Edwin. Really, we need more people just to stop worrying about their, a couple weird fans and stuff like that, and let's just sell good work. Let's not worry about this Twitter drama. I'm not worrying about it anymore. Those people can do whatever they want, but I'm not going to support that type of stuff anymore. I'm sure they get a lot of a lot of likes and stuff like that, and it's probably going to put me on the out with certain people. But that's fine. I just don't want that kind of negativity in my life. I already went through a lot of that last year, so I don't really want to go through it again. And now my friend, not Larry Higgins from Niobe Comic, he was going through a lot of that too. So, yeah. Hello. People are definitely tired of the drama. That's for sure. Yeah. I know I am. I was tired of it when it started the first time last year. There's a little kerfuffle with Comicsgate there. That really put a bad taste in my mouth after being so hyped for a while there. But you know, whatever. Uh, Certain people are gonna fight with each other. I guess it's just their personality and stuff like that. Uh, you see, I don't really understand why they go after each other. We're all in this to make books, I thought, but that's it. Like maybe some people aren't in it to make books, right? So as for the outrage, well, it's a counteraction, I think, to the outrage from the initial people who started the outrage, but it's gotten to the point where it's kind of like mm, it's escalated too far, I guess. It was funny at first watching the pushback against these crazy comic creators and stuff like that. It's gotten to the point now where it's just like a schoolyard. Like it was like kind of like a schoolyard fight, right? But uh, at least some people were making it humorous and they were pointing out how dumb it was at first, and now they're kind of going into that route of being sort of weird about it. So, but hey, it gets them clicks and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just their form of monetization, and that's what they want to do. But ultimately, that's not sustainable. I don't think. But, so good, good. Yeah. This is a book that I'm working on right now. Yeah, we're funding it on Indiegogo. Yeah, it's sort of an original science fiction fantasy story. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been sharing it around quite a bit this weekend. So yeah. This was just like a little preview book I put together for the convention. So
What are you using for material? Like, do you, I mean, physically, how are you making these?
this is regular comic size, basically. So
11 by 17?
yeah. Well, Rob Cannon's the artist. He's out of California. He uses like he uses like an 11 by 14 format, I think, when he does the artwork, and then he sort of scales it. But yeah. But yeah, his work's all hand inked and stuff like that. That's really why we clicked together for the project. So it's the kind of stuff that I really like. So yeah. Yeah, it's very gestural. It's super animated. Yeah. Yeah, I've got the direct link to the campaign there on this too. If you're interested in backing it at some point. Yeah. All right, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think the outrage is due to some of the delays. Because instead of working, we're fighting, basically. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you think about it. Uh, Sorry for being kind of silent there for a second. Hello. This is live selling, man. You just gotta go with it. uh, now let's see if I can actually make a sale on stream so it looks really good. All right. You missed all my sales. So, yeah. Yeah, it's so hard to be enthusiastic when there's stupid drama going on because you just start thinking about it, you start complaining about it, and then that drives your excitement and positivity about certain projects. Um, like I don't want to call anybody out because I'm sure they'll come after me or something like that. But there are certain people who I was so enthusiastic about when they started. Uh, I'm less enthusiastic about now, if you know what I mean. I still back those projects, but yeah, it it's probably going to come back to bite them in the butt eventually. Maybe they don't get as much next time because people just walked away. You don't want people walking away. So I always figure it's better to not necessarily play the middle per se. I'm not playing anybody really. I'm just being as honest as I can. Uh, but I don't see the point in needlessly going off and starting stuff with people. Like I just ignore people if I see something that I don't like that they say. You don't have to reply. That's just it, right? Um, that's what keeps a lot of these things going. Like just let it go. It's useless, right? It's just banter, right? Well, maybe they like it like that. I don't know, but it's not something I like to do. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to name any names because that's just as bad as uh, the stuff I'm complaining about. So let's see if there's anything going on here. Not seeing much. Saw a couple new books today that I kind of liked. If I can remember the names of them, it goes by so quickly. I should really start hitting that follow button more on Indiegogo so I can keep track of all this stuff. Try to remember which ones I saw earlier. that I thought was be really neat to back. I'll go back through my likes or something like that. I saw that hero book there last night. I'd seen it before, but I never really looked into it, and I was looking into it today. And that's some pretty cool stuff. Cyberpunk, right? Don't see a lot of cyberpunk now. I like cyberpunk. I'm a really big fan of the Deus Ex series, old and new. I think those games are excellent, regardless of certain flaws they might have at some point or another in the series. But I'd like something like that in a comic book. I don't know why no one's ever really done anything like that in a comic. Well, I mean, I'm sure they have, but I haven't really seen it. So, I mean, that's it's got an old flair to cyberpunk, but it's still original enough that it keeps it interesting anyway. I don't know, like the first game had the nanomachine augmentations. And then they went back in time when they did the new series, and they're back to the mechanical ones. And I kind of like the mechanical augmentations better in Cyberpunk. The nano stuff was really cool, but the mechanical augmentations are way cooler. The nano thing, I think, was more just like a limitation of the technology. And here I am, like, rambling about friggin' video games now. Get me started on that. Yeah, games definitely influence a lot of what I do. I would say that's what got me into writing and stuff like that. But because I used to play a lot of like role playing games and stuff like that. I still do, just not as much as because they don't make that sort of classic. Hey, how's it going? I'm pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. They don't make as much as like classical style RPGs anymore, but that's okay. Like I might have mentioned before that I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy. I like the new ones just as much as the old ones for different reasons. Like I even like 13. I still play 13 sometimes. Western RPGs kind of blow. They're always the same. I hate to say that. Some of them are really good, but they're always the same type of style of game, right? In a lot of respects, it's more like open world type stuff. But I really liked Knights of the Old Republic. But that was mostly because it was Star Wars, I think, more than anything. But I thought the gameplay was really solid in it too, and the way they did the light and the dark side stuff was pretty neat at the time. There have been some other games that had done stuff like that, but they really sort of capitalized on that idea. Xenosaga was great, but I couldn't get into it as much because I'm a really big Xenogears fan, and it wasn't the same. It didn't feel the same. It felt way too anime-ish compared to Xenogears. Yeah. Xenogears is pretty anime-ish, but Xenosaga was like really anime-ish. And nothing wrong with that. It's just Xenogears always felt a little bit more serious and stuff like that. Even though the second half of the game was like a really big mess because they didn't have time to finish it, and they kind of just strapped it all together. It still worked. It was still a fun game. The story was messy. It was not the best translation, but it definitely influenced me a lot. The soundtrack I put a post up today on Twitter that I was listening to the soundtrack on the way in, or parts of the soundtrack anyway, some selected tracks, and that soundtrack always gets me like pumped for everything. I love the Xenogears soundtrack. Yasunori Masuda is a freaking musical genius. Everything he touches is gold. He might. I have a really hard time, uh, you know, picking which Japanese composer I like more, but it's my favorites are definitely between Yasunori Masuda and Nobuo Uematsu. But Nobuo Uematsu has more soundtracks under his belt, so ultimately I tend to like more tracks from him. So and it's not just Final Fantasy. Like that's what got me into it. He's done a lot of other stuff too. Like I think my favorite soundtrack that he ever did was Lost Odyssey, which is a really, really, really good RPG on the Xbox 360 that not a lot of people have, surprisingly, not a lot of people have played. I always used to call it the real Final Fantasy 13 because uh, Sakaguchi directed it, the original creator of Final Fantasy. Uh, Hi there. And it definitely felt more Final Fantasy. Yeah, you know what? I I got about near the end of it and never finished it, but it's because somebody else was playing it at the time, and I kind of watched them finish it out, so I didn't really feel like finishing it. But I know what happens and stuff like that. I just think it's a really well written, well scripted game. Uh, yeah, the Xbox 360 had its friggin' problems. That's for damn sure. I have two or three of them. One of them's broken. One of them sort of works, and the other one's like a slim. So it's still good. But man, they had some troubles with that system. My PS4 or PS4 PS3, my workhorse PS3. It was a 60 gig original model, backwards compatible and everything like that. It died like two. Well, I guess it was longer than 2 years ago because it was just after I bought and completed Metal Gear Solid 5 on it, and it died. The heat gel finally went on between the chips, and I can get it replaced at some point. But all I really want is my save files. But you have to have, because of the way they lock that thing up, uh, you have to have that PS3 with that hard drive to open it up, and you can't just pop the hard drive in a different PS3 and go unless you want to start from scratch. Kind of sucks that way. But that was their anti-piracy stuff, which is why no one liked developing for that system. So yeah, but the PS4 has been like a great system though. Um, I bought a couple of years ago, and I absolutely adore that system. I don't know why I didn't get it earlier, but I ended up buying a Pro anyway, so because they were out at the time. And I ended up buying a Battlefront 2 Pro because it was the only one they had left in the store that Christmas. And they were on sale, so I was like, whatever. Didn't really want the game. I played through it. It actually wasn't that bad. I just I'm not interested in online play, and once I beat the campaign, that was it. I just put it on the shelf. So I never traded it in or anything like that. I just held on to it. Wasn't my favorite Star Wars game, that's for sure. None of the stuff that EA's put out has really been all that great. So have to see what comes of this new one that's coming out. This Jedi game could be good. Probably not. I don't think they are capable of making really good Western games anymore because they always add all this crap in there now. So yeah. Yeah, EA just needs to stop. They need to stop this corporate bullshit. It's not. People don't want it. Like, you want to go back to making like software by nerds, basically. I guess not how much coin can we strap out of the gamer. Yeah, Nintendo's doing awesome. And since speaking of back to PlayStation, since they've started this crazy censorship bull crap, I'm less in tune to buy another system. Uh, but really looking at seriously back at the Nintendo again. And I was always a Nintendo kid when I was growing up, so I have no qualms about switching back. So if they want to play the censorship game in Sony, which I don't really understand since they built their entire legacy off of unfiltered games, why they would want to do that. Yeah. Look at that. We've devolved into video game talk on the stream, which is fine. Speaking of video game talk, though, I'm like really pumped for that new Earthworm Jim game. I used to play that back on the Super Nintendo. I don't know about buying a new system for it, but I'd be willing to give it a shot. Yeah. I never owned it, but I always played it over my friend's place, and I love that game. Yeah. I used to watch the show quite a bit too. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Tank Fair Art. Good to see you. I'll talk to you later sometime. I think I'm gonna actually wrap this up. It's about 4:30 here now, so I'm gonna, things are winding down for sure. I'm gonna start packing up here soon. Get out of here at 5. So yeah, I think I've pretty much covered all I wanted to right now. Just a little bit of more talking. So I'm gonna let you guys go. We're about an hour in. So, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, good talking with you too, PS Meltzer and Durkin. Thank you guys are always here. Love it. You're always good to talk to. Yeah, I'm gonna shut her down here, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for stopping in.